About to shoot him here, and they wanted us to pause and take a look.
Right, now, why do we stop it there? I think it's important to bring the chief in. We stop because after that point in the tape, nothing happens except his being shot. There is no movement with his arm, there is no raise of the arm, there is no increase in acceleration. We just have seen enough bad things. We don't want people to watch the actual shots. But Chief, you've watched the video.
I have.
And what is your assessment? Because, at first there was a story that he had his hand up. You then said, well, he lunged at officers. I don't see that in the video, but the question is...
He was wielding a knife overhand.
He has his hand in his pocket. Right. And he then takes his hand out and keeps it low.
Right.
And we believe from the police that there is a knife in there.
Right.
He then walks, doesn't listen to the officers, gets on top of the curb,
okay,
moves towards the officers, and then gets shot.
We have it now. Let's take a look.
All right, good. Watch for yourself.
He got his gun out. Chief, you hear the gunshots. He had his hands down at that point, did he? So what happened?
He did. The suspect came towards the officers and said, shoot me now, kill me now. The entire encounter lasted about 15 seconds. He approaches the first officer, heads towards the driver's side, backs up a little bit, then goes towards the passenger side. He starts to move towards the police officer that was in the passenger seat, who's out of the car. He has his gun out. He's giving verbal directions. Stop, drop the knife, stop the knife. And I didn't see where you ended the video here, but he continues to move towards the officer. The officer even takes a step and a half backwards to try and put some distance between him. An edged weapon, a knife, within 21 feet is a lethal weapon. The officers did what I think you or I would do. They protected their life in that situation.
There are people who would say, Chris, and you heard it, right? There were, 100, 150 people out there immediately after, that this was a guy with a knife. Why such force with the gun?
Yeah, I think the questions that it raises are pretty obvious. And again, I think, Don, for you to have the chief here is fundamental, because you'll be able to say what decisions you make and why. The first is, couldn't you have done something else in the situation other than kill him? There doesn't seem to be any discussion of trying to talk him down, which takes you to a second point. People in the community, including the guy who takes the video, says, we know this guy. The store owner knows this guy. He's known to have some problems, emotional, mental, whatever they are. He has them. Why isn't that something that the police weren't told in the 911 call? And does it speak to community policing, knowing who you're around? Not obviously knowing everything about everybody, but that's the second question.
We've been talking a lot about community policing and also the use of force. Is it appropriate? He brings up a very good point. What about why use bullets? Why not use a stun gun?
Well, certainly a taser is an option that's available to the officers, but tasers aren't 100%. So you've got an individual armed with a knife who's moving towards you, not listening to any verbal commands, continues, says shoot me now, kill me now. Tasers aren't 100%. If that taser misses, that subject continues on and hurts an officer.
You think the use of force is appropriate in this case?
I think that the officers used force that was in a lethal situation.
Do they train police officers nowadays?
Outrage like here because you came out immediately and you were transparent, you believe?
Actually, as soon as it was over, I talked to the community and I said, I'm the police chief. And you talk about community policing. I'm the police chief for the community. I want you to hear the story from me. I want you to be able to ask me questions. I went into a crowd of 100, 150 people and just told them the story just as we have for the last day or so. And I think they were receptive. I think they respected that because now they knew what happened and they didn't have to wait till it goes viral. We released the tape. We didn't have to do that. The police department did that today.
I appreciate you coming on, too. Thank you very much. Get some sleep. You got about an hour of sleep ahead of you. Thank you, Chris Coleman. We'll see you tomorrow. New day starting 6 a.m. Eastern Time, correct?
Yes,
we'll see you then. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Up next, controversial bottom line advice for a police officer who says